And 1st of September, that's when the transfer window closes. Who else are Arsenal going to bring in? One player they won't be bringing in. It's over, people. The dream is finished. To come down to what happens with Nico Williams. But as I said, with the release clause, that does open things up if he wants to move. And if indeed Arsenal still want him. We know that they've wanted him before, but do they still want him now? Or are they looking at him thinking, no, bigger targets? Another player being linked is Marcus Rashford. Ben Jacobs yesterday, the journalist, saying that, listen, never say never when it comes to Arsenal going in for Marcus Rashford. For me, I doubt this extremely. Number one, he's on very high wages. Number two, I just don't think he's the type of player that Mikel Arteta is going to be looking to bring in. I think if there's some sort of an emergency situation, possibly, but right now, nah, I don't think that's going to happen at all. In the likelihood, he probably stays at United. They're also looking at another player, another Brazilian. He goes by the name of Caioa Elias. Plays for Shakhtar Donetsk, 20 years of age, Brazilian born. Previously played for Fluminense and then transferred over to Shakhtar in February of 2025. But listen, the Sun are claiming today that both Arsenal and Manchester United sent scouts to watch him play. And it worked out good for him because they watched him play on Monday. They had a 5-1 win over a team called Kodrivka, and he scored a hat-trick in the game. So if you say scouts are coming to watch you and you're a centre forward and you score a hat-trick, it couldn't have gone better for him. But would Arsenal make a move for him? Listen, he's still young, 20 years of age, but sometimes you've got to move for these youngsters, get them in early before the value goes up. We can see that with players like Endrick. Krupi is the perfect example of that. So Arsenal taking a look at him. This one was a real surprising one. Now, I've spoken about the link before between Arsenal and Christian Romero, who Spurs are trying to get rid of. They're desperate to get rid of him. We've seen him over the years. Can be a very good defender, but liable to some real bozo moments. Well, Arsenal made an inquiry this week about Christian Romero. We know that they're looking for a right-sided centre-back, which he is. We know that Spurs are trying to sell him. They want him out the door. They bought in centre-backs now in his position. They made an inquiry about him, Arsenal, but they were immediately knocked back. Spurs do not want to sell to Arsenal. And I can tell you, by reading some comments on, this inquiry, most Arsenal fans don't really want him. I said the other day that he's the type of player that Mikel Arteta could make better. That's my opinion, you know what I mean? Because he's an ill-disciplined player, but we've seen how Mikel Arteta's turned around the discipline of the Arsenal players. But listen, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. He's more likely to go to either Atletico Madrid or Inter. Him and Diego Simeone, that is a match made in heaven. There'll be a lot of red cards there, I'll tell you that. Now, Real Madrid interested in an Arsenal player. We were interested in Vinicius Jr. They're interested in Martin Zubimendi. Now, Real Madrid were all set to try and get Rodri. That was like one of their big targets for this summer. However, Rodri has chosen to go to Barcelona over Real Madrid. It's going to be a big blow as well for Man City when he goes. He had a World Cup player of the tournament at the World Cup, but it looks like he's heading to Barcelona and not to Real Madrid. Real Madrid looking for a defensive midfielder and showing a lot of interest in Martin Zubimendi. Obviously, I think there's a lot of clubs now looking, thinking, Zubimendi, you're not going to start every week, are you? Not now that Arsenal are bringing in Bruno Guimaraes. What's going to happen to him? Chelsea, also a club that's said to be interested in him. I don't think there's anywhere on this earth, a bit like the Romero going from Spurs to Arsenal, that we would sell Zubimendi to Chelsea. There'd be absolutely no chance. I think Arsenal will keep hold of Zubimendi unless something ridiculous came in. But Martin Zubimendi being linked with a move to Real Madrid today. And of course, a lot of those links is because we've signed Bruno Guimaraes. I said it on yesterday's show. I said it from he had that medical a couple of days ago, as I said. Medical was done. Everything's been agreed. 4-year contract for him, £75 million. Excellent bit of business. For me, listen, you're all going to have to pay a bit over the odds for a player like Bruno Guimaraes, but you're never getting a player like him for £55 million, like what Arsenal was talking about originally, or 60 million. 75 million. I think that is good business for Arsenal. This guy is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, and he's now added to that Arsenal midfield. He's a leader. He was a captain in Newcastle. He's won the most duels in the Premier League. He is perfect for us, and I think that's an excellent sign. And again, like what Arsenal are doing in the transfer market with these type of players. At the start of the window, and when this rumour first came out, nobody thought it would happen, but it's happened, people. And, you know, I know, as I said, it's been overshadowed by the fact that, you know, we was Vinicius Jr. and that, but this is a great signing. Outgoings-wise, Gabriel Jesus has still been looked at by a load of clubs, but the latest club that's interested in him is Napoli, and he's said to be open to that move. Arsenal looking for £17 million. Going to be interesting to see how that one develops out between now and the end of the transfer window. Gabriel Martinelli still been getting linked to a lot of clubs, the latest one being Galatasaray over there in Turkey. However, if Arsenal can't bring nobody in, I don't think there'll be anywhere on earth they'll sell Martinelli, unless, if they did, maybe a Nico Williams or something, maybe he might be sacrificed. But at this moment in time, he's an Arsenal player. And Tommy Setford, Arsenal young goalkeeper, still only 20. The Telegraph reporting today that he could go out on loan to Spanish second division side Las Palmas. Remember, he joined from Ajax in the 2024-25 season. But not even third choice goalkeeper now that Meslier has come in. So it makes sense for him to go out on loan, get some real game time and experience. He is a very good goalkeeper. So Tommy Setford could be going out on loan to Las Palmas. So those are the rumours for today. Hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget, we are here right until the 1st of September when the transfer window closes. Vinny Jr. dream is over, but who are Arsenal going to bring in now? Let's wait and see.
What their emotions will be in the dressing room and even going out the tunnel ahead of kickoff, ahead of the first game of the season at St James's Park, 55,000 fans against Liverpool.
They should be excited. Look, it was a different situation for me. I was in Division 1, which was back then, that's what it was, so the Championship. So to heading towards St James's Park and coming from Portman Road and seeing that stadium, like the centre of Newcastle, glowing, I was a nervous wreck. And I think it happened too early for me. These guys are coming from top clubs, Ajax, Monaco, top clubs. So I think it's a little bit different in terms of my situation, but they've got to be excited. They've got to be looking forward to it. They've got to be doing everything they can in pre-season to be on that team sheet, because you want to play in these games. First game against Liverpool, as you said, win the crowd over, see if you can get on the score sheet. It's such a big football club. It deserves to be higher up than where they are. It deserves to be better than where they were last season. And maybe this approach might take them there. Only this season will tell. But I repeat, they need some more experience here to guide these young players. And
we start with Marcus Rashford, and this one's picking up real steam. After his loan spell at Barcelona last season, where he genuinely impressed and showed he still has real quality at the top level, the Catalan club have surprisingly decided against making that move permanent, leaving his next step wide open. According to multiple reports, Arsenal have emerged as serious admirers, viewing Rashford as an experienced option to strengthen their left wing following Leandro Trossard's departure, and their willingness to consider offers for Gabriel Martinelli. And crucially, reports suggest Rashford himself could be open to the move, given Arsenal's status as one of the leading clubs in English football right now. But here's the complication, and it's a significant one. Manchester United are reportedly willing to sell Rashford, but they're determined not to let him join a direct domestic rival, and that stance could genuinely block any move to North London, regardless of what the player wants. Tottenham and Chelsea are also said to be plotting moves of their own, which only makes United's resistance more relevant, because it's not just Arsenal they're trying to keep Rashford away from. There's also a financial hurdle worth mentioning, with reports suggesting Arsenal are only willing to proceed if the deal is financially viable, And Rashford's substantial wages have been flagged as a potential sticking point in any negotiation. So this one's genuinely alive, genuinely believed to have the player's blessing, but very much blocked for now by United's stance on selling to a rival. Now let's move to Julián Alvarez, because this saga has continued rumbling in the background all summer, and it remains one of the more ambitious pursuits Arsenal are working on. The Argentine has made his feelings about leaving Atletico Madrid fairly clear, and while Barcelona remain his stated preference, Atletico have flatly refused to sell to a domestic rival, pointing instead to his enormous release clause as the only route Barcelona could take.